Doing well, my man, doing well. Got everybody in the house. Had Southwest Guilford in. We had High Point Central in. Had Josh Williams in. Got everybody in the house tonight.
Oh, real good, man. I'm the save the best pitcher for last. I got to win the game now.
Yes, sir. You got to get it all night.
I got to get the Mets in there.
Take us back to last week's game. What did you see in last week's game?
Last week ball
Go back
game.
to that Grimsley-Page game.
Last week ball game, Page and Grimsley, outstanding crowd, outstanding atmosphere. The game itself and the first quarter was the most exciting part of the Grimsley and Page game in a long time. Grimsley came out playing great defense. Grimsley got 2 turnovers in the beginning, but they couldn't cash it in. Grimsley had opportunity to score, put themselves up 14-0, and they surrendered. Page in the second half came out as a totally different Page team. Page found out what Grimsley was doing, stopped Grimsley. It was a great game, the first quarter for Grimsley. Outstanding game for Page Pirates. We was wondering, was we going to see the Page Pirates we saw the week before when they just came in and smashed Southeast Gifford, but they didn't get off to that good start. And if Page continue in these tough games, they'll get off to a good start. Things might not be that way for them at the end like it was against Grimsley, but they was able to pull it together.
What do you think about that attendance? 7,033, the final attendance.
Almo Penix Drive, Cone Boulevard was jam-packed for 1 hour straight during our pregame. When the crowd first finally got in there, you and I looked over to the Grimsley side. It wasn't as packed, but as the time went on, the whole stadium was packed. That was a great game, great turnout, great atmosphere. The score was indicative of what the atmosphere presented.
How about this game tomorrow night? Got the Southeast Guilford game tomorrow down there we're going to be covering. And it's going to be homecoming for Southeast. They've been on the road now for well over a year. No home games whatsoever. They're headed home tomorrow night.
Andy, one of the things about when you come back home, the crowd has been traveling. The crowd that saw their team lose a couple of games. Almost lost a game last week against an easy opponent in the 4A Metro, the Smith Golden Eagles. So those guys are eager to get back home. When I interviewed the head coach, he said, I want to get back home. We've been on the road. He counted the preseason summer games. They've been on the road for almost 16 games. And so getting back home, and what an atmosphere that's going to be tomorrow night, naming the stadium after an individual that means a lot to you and a lot to this Greensboro sports.
Yes, got rededicated. He's had it in his name since back a long time ago, but tomorrow night they open it back up again. It's going to be interesting to see the players get to go back to work on their own home field for a change.
Yeah, absolutely. And Slayton said to you he wanted to be alive to see that reopening of the stadium, and the guys want to be able to go out tomorrow night. It's going to be jam-packed. That's a football community like Page and Grimsley. The fans are eager to get back in, and this is one of the games that have to be early because parking is going to be difficult, and you have to get there. This is going to be an exciting game, and Southeast need this boost after a couple of weeks of struggling to get back home.
And they're going to be playing one of their arch rivals, too, Southern Alabama, a school where Coach Hessenthaler taught and coached for several years, who's going to get some of his former people, maybe not some of the same players. Those players are long gone since he was there, but going up against his old school again, plus the head coach for Southern Alamance is a former Southeast Guilford assistant coach, Coach Caruth.
We did that game last year, and those two guys met. And one of the things about anytime you're going against your mentor or you're going against someone that was near and dear to you, it's a hard thing. Like when Davis and Kilpatrick get together, you see so many of teachers and proteges now in this game of high school football. Coach Robinson at the Eastern, and then with Moorhead coach. All those guys was together at Reedsville. Now they're coaching against each other. So it's a lot of coaches going against each other, and this is a good lesson for the younger coach to come to Hessenthaler. Coach Fritz, you know that we can't get that last name together. Coach Fritz territory. It's going to be a great game tomorrow night.
What about these other games? You got, I know that these teams will probably do well. Got homecoming night for Dudley, homecoming for A&T, maybe homecoming too for Smith, possibly, I'm hearing. A lot of homecomings this week.
A lot of homecomings going on. Homecomings is a very great, present a very great atmosphere to high school football. And you always talk about the gate. This is when your gate really receive big donation from the community because of the pageantry of homecoming. I'm looking forward to hearing about the homecomings. We'll be out at a homecoming itself. They coming home, southeast. So it's
they're
gonna
coming
be
home. Plus, it is.
yeah,
It's homecoming
as well. So it's homecoming all around, and I'm excited about the events for homecoming for these teams.
Busy football weekend around here coming up tomorrow. I got Panthers home on Sunday night too. North Carolina Panthers, big Sunday home game against Philadelphia. Got the whole stage themselves. Sunday night, national TV, playing against Philadelphia. Do you see the Panthers moving that record on to 6-0?
I do. The Panthers right now is playing the best that they can play with what they have. You and I talked about Benjamin gone. Steve Smith left. Who's going to be the
kept
receiver?
trying to get somebody back in for Steve
We
Smith.
tried to get
They didn't need anybody. They didn't have to have that.
None at all.
It's a great deal. Yeah.
Greg Olsen have
He's
to
really taking over.
be one of the greatest tight ends. When you talk about tight ends, let me take you back to number 17. Used to play with Philadelphia, Harry Carmichael.
Oh yeah.
Big,
6'9".
Big Ben Cunningham
Yeah.
for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the size, you got to look at the size. Look at Witten for the Dallas Cowboys. Those big type of tight ends are safety valves. And Greg Olsen got behind Sherman, one of the best defensive players in the NFL. He was wide open. Nobody thought that they was going to go long. Cam Newton is certainly a student of the game. He watched Olsen all the way down the field, and I watched it, and I was listening to it because I was out now, and the finish was so spectacular.
Yeah,
it took me a couple of days to even get to watch it. I had to go
Yeah,
back.
I didn't
'cause
see
missed
it. I was watching. I was listening to it as well on the radio.
I was listening to the radio as well.
Mick Mixon and those guys.
And when they threw the ball, they went wild. The broadcasters, every last one of them.
I tell you, Eugene
Robinson, he
went
lost
crazy,
it.
Man.
He lost it.
I thought Eugene was in another world.
He lost it. He
was in another world. He sure was.
And like you say, Andy, when they threw the Jericho Cochran, got down to the 26, and the next thing I heard, Eugene, because I stepped out the car and I get back in, Greg Olsen. I was like, oh man! I called Nathan because he was on one. I say they scored. They scored because, like you say, that broadcast team, they really love Carolina Panthers. They really love what they do, and they enjoy, and they put a lot of excitement in.
Eugene Robinson probably could be a coach.
Oh yes, he's outstanding, man. I sit and listen to him and get notes. He is a great color analyst. He make it difficult for anybody trying to be a color analyst because he paint the picture so well. He does a lot of play-by-play within his color analyst.
He does.
And they have themselves a jewel in that broadcast booth with Eugene Robinson. He is awesome, man. He is awesome. He almost called the plays, like you say, before the plays were called, based on his knowledge and ability of the game.
He knows exactly what that defense is doing, that's for
Yes,
sure.
sir.
He knows that well. How about Carolina, Virginia on Saturday? Carolina Tar Heels on a roll right now.
Carolina Tar Heels have the second best offense in the nation, not in the ACC, but in the nation. That Carolina offense, Andy, is phenomenal. Nobody would have ever thought in their wildest, if I'd have told you this in the summer, the Tar Heels is going to have the second best offense. And last year, they messed up. They stuck up the place with the defense, with the offense. Was Fedora going to leave? What was going to come up for Fedora? All of the allegations going out against Carolina. What is going on with this program? And now, hey, 5-1, 2-0 in their conference.
That defense is a lot better too with Gene Chizik back there.
A lot better. He's doing an outstanding job. And I watch them, and they are playing well together in every facet of the game in all phases. Special teams, special teams is going to do great. Defense and offense. Right now, Tar Heels is the hardest thing in the ACC, Andy.
How about this game, though, with State and Wake Forest? That's a game that both teams could really use a win in that one.
Yeah, you're right. State struggling a lot. State, I didn't think State was going to struggle in these last 2 games like they have, because State has exactly what they need. They have great running back, outstanding defense. When they play Louisville, State defense was doing outstanding. They got tired, and they began to be exploded. Everybody's going to explode them ever since because they came in the season with a tough defense.
What do you think about some other games here? What about tonight? Got Temple, 6-0 at East Carolina. East Carolina down in Greenville. James Summers and his team, big matchup down there tonight.
Yeah, James Summers, I think he started. I was watching it earlier. He was doing an outstanding job. The score was 3-9. Looked like they're still 3-0. I had a great conversation about James Summers with the parent and of a Page Pirate player now, and we was talking about James' story. Everybody, let me go back to this. When I did the interview of Coach Fritz Helfenthal and Coach Gillespie, in the middle of the field, I had to wait. They was talking about James Summers. Coach Gillespie was saying all the things that James have endured, how he had to write letters, Rusty Lee, Coach Weeks, how all of those guys had to generate letters to get him where he is. That speaks volume for people that stick by you. You always saying this, stick by something, stick by your man.
Yeah, I called East Carolina this summer, talked to some gentleman by the name of Overton. I was trying to find out what was going on about James. I mean, I called the school back during the summer trying to find out a few things.
Right, because you told me.
Tracking him down.
Yeah, because you told me he's not even on the roster.
Yeah, he was at Pitt Community College. He showed up at East Carolina a week before the season was to start. That's how late he showed up. He was getting his credit straight over at Pitt, from what I understand.
And regardless of how this season turned out for James, he's a success story.
Oh, yeah. Just like to see him keep it rolling.
Yeah, absolutely, because this kid, this is what it means to have a desire, compassion, and love the game. You'll go through, James could have given up.
And when he comes in, he's number 11, by the way, too, those that follow at home watching James Summers. Number 11. He used to be number 18 at Page,
At 18
number
at
11
Page.
now, and doing a very good job.
Outstanding job. A great young man. You and I have always had great utmost respect for James. He loved the interview. Now that's a kid loved to talk on that. Loved the interview. Yes.
Yes, sir. How about, we talked about all these games. Appalachia's got a big one tonight against Georgia Southern. Appalachia's got a chance to maybe win that conference, get a big bowl game.
Absolutely. In App State, you remember back, and I know you have that football IQ. Was it 6 years ago they won back-to-back?
Yeah, won the NCAA 1AA championship.
Absolutely, back-to-back. That program, everybody was building amp up. Then they had some down years.
Yeah,
Coach
Michigan, all those good things happened.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then Coach Jerry Moore was let go as the team was kind of dropping off a little bit.
Yep.
Then Coach Satterfield came in. It took him a year or two to try to get it turned around, but have all the respect in the world for Coach Jerry Moore, Coach, the job he did at Appalachian over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. And they, Jeremy and Level from Page Pirates have verbally committed,
that's good.
to App State.
Be a good product for them.
Yeah, Randall Diaby is at App State. He's a wrestler.
Yeah, he sure is. He is out of Dudley.
Yeah, he is a wrestler. And a couple of more kids from our program in Harrison, they're wrestling. There are 3 or 4 guys running a packet deal from Dudley. All of them from Dudley, and those
Here's
guys are
some more
wrestling.
names for you. Let me run these names. If I see these names ring a bell, you got Lance Russell, Gordon Soley, Bob Caudle, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone. Who's your favorite announcer among those guys?
When you got me going back to Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, you took me way
I was
back.
listening to Jim Ross's podcast, and Jim Ross interviewed Lance Russell, a pretty good interview from the old days. But among those guys, who's your favorite among all those guys?
I'm going to have to go with, I don't know if did you call the Crockett, one of the Crockett's?
David Crockett. I didn't call David.
You didn't call one of the Crockett's,
I called
okay.
Lance Russell, who did a lot in the Memphis area.
Right.
I called Gordon Sully, was big in Georgia Championship Wrestling in Florida. I mentioned Bob Caudle, was famous from Mid-Atlantic. He was big time in Raleigh, everywhere. Jim Ross,
I have to go with
who was
Caudle.
all over the map. And then Tony Schiavone, who did a lot of stuff too.
I have to go with Mid-Atlantic.
Bob
Caudle.
Caudle.
Got to go with Bob
Caudle
Caudle.
and David Crockett were a good
Yes,
team.
good team. Oh,
Good
man.
team.
They built Ric Flair up
they did.
as a national phenom. They built Dusty Rhodes up as a national phenom. Chief Wahoo McDaniel. Those guys brought in Andre the Giant. Those type of people pumped up the big giant. They invented so many types of matches. The grudge match. Texas, cage match.
Loser leave town match. Knuckles match.
Yeah.
All those matches, yeah.
All those matches.
Yeah.
And they was the first group that did the brawl. What was it, Andy, with the last man in the ring? what was that? The Battle Royal? What was
Battle
it?
Royale.
Battle Royale, yeah.
Battle Royale,
The
yeah.
last man
That's
standing.
kind of a gauntlet match sometimes too. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And you know they brought old Ivan Putski in there and the Russian bear Ivan Koloff,
Nikita Koloff,
Brooke
all those
Bernard.
guys. Oh, great guys. Don't want to get you too far caught up in that, but your favorite man again would be Bob Cottle. Back to some more things here for Dennis. Favorite form of potato? The potato question kind of hit me. We used to ask if you like mashed potatoes or no. Now I've got several listed. I've got mashed potato, baked potato salad, French fry, or even maybe a hash brown. What's your favorite among those?
I've got to go with the baked potato.
Baked potato, man. A lot of mashed potato guys tonight. Baked potato.
Yeah, I'm a baked potato nut.
Well, that's a good thing because if you eat a lot of French fries over the years, baked potato kind of becomes a good alternative.
Yes, I love a loaded baked potato, Andy.
They have those here, I think.
Yeah.
How about a favorite form of an apple? You like the apple sauce, the apple turnover, the apple cobbler, the apple pie, or just a raw apple's good occasionally?
Apple pie. Apple pie, yeah. Give me some ice cream with it. Oh, my goodness.
Gotta love that.
Apple pie a la mode is what they call it. Yes, sir.
What's the best high school football game you've seen this year?
The best high school football game I've seen this year, Andy, I would have to go with, I would say the Dudley and Richmond County game.
Oh, good call, yeah.
Based on how that game was
Level of
played.
competition.
Absolutely. And based on the offense, type of offense, the motion, all of the shenanigans that team pulled, and nobody's seen that. That confused. Coach Rodney Brunson told me the week before they played them, they had them up 14-0.
Yeah, he did.
They went to the jet. They went to all this motion. They went to doing these shenanigans. It confused the defense, and it certainly confused Dudley defense. You and I stood there, and we watched it in awe.
Tell you, some of the hits they applied, though, they were such a hitting team.
They hit Young on that
Young
first couple of plays.
shots.
You and I both was.
So that's your best football, or the top running back in the area this year. Who do you think's been the top running back?
Cornell Young, no doubt. Cornell Young, he has, we have much love for C.J. Freeman, much love for that Page, Javon Lee. Cornell Young has to be he's targeted more than any other. C.J. Freeman is targeted. And when you're targeted, a lot of people, Javon Lee has not been the most popular back in Gifford County from last year. He's coming along.
Yeah.
So those two guys, Young and C.J. Freeman, is winning the bullseye because of how good they were last year.
Yeah.
So now, like you say, Javon Lee have joined the bullseye club, but Young, 13. I think Young have 1,300 yards or
he's
something.
got close to 500 and some receiving too, I think.
Yes, yes. All-purpose yards, probably over 2,000.
Top quarterback in the area. Sticking with Hooker?
I've got to go with Hooker because I had last week, I love
6 touchdown passes last week.
Yeah, and so that's amazing for a running team. Will Jones was coming in the radar, but them two interceptions, Andy, that didn't give Will Jones an A+. Like the week before, he had an A+ with
Certainly.
us. He dropped that A+ down to about a C- because he was able to.
For the one game, but
for the
not
one
for
game.
the year.
Not for the year. No.
Right.
No, that one game does not negate anything he's done. That game, that particular game, because those passes, ill-advised passes, but just bad decisions on the quarterback.
How about Coach of the Year at this stage of the season? Have you got a Coach of the Year candidate at this current time of the year?
Yeah, it may sound strange to you, but I would have to go with Kevin Gillespie because last year, 3 games? And then
3 and 9, yeah.
3 and 9. Got into the playoffs. Didn't give up, stuck with his team, stayed the course, brought in the guys, he knew each year he was going to have a Page dynasty. He built the Page dynasty that those kids believe in themselves so much. They couldn't let themselves down against Grimsley.
Right.
They had to shut Grimsley out because Grimsley almost anchored them to stay that close. So I would have to go with Coach Kevin Gillespie, the blue-collar coach.
If you could ride the time machine's big this week. Back to the Future. People talking about that like all week long, the big Back to the Future week. If you could ride that time machine ahead to the future, how many years ahead would you go? And then what would you be doing when you got there? How many years ahead would you move?
How many years
time
ahead would I
machine?
move ahead of time machine?
Just to
What
see
I'd be
what's
doing?
going on. What would you be doing there?
I think, and then let's say, I would say 50 years from now.
You go ahead 50 years.
50 years from now, and it would be interesting to see technology 50 years from now. Now we have cell phones. Now we have everything. I want to see 50 years from now, houses operating, everything. We're almost there now with remote controls for everything in your house. Washer, dryer, refrigerator. It's changed. I'm fascinated with technology. And I would like to see how, because now we're talking about energy-powered cars. So many things that they are trying. I would love to go to a time machine and see what it would be like 50 years. And I'd like to see what Andy Durham broadcasting would be like 50 years.
Boy, I'd say that'd be interesting there. Top football player you have ever seen in the pros?
I would have to say Tony Dorsett.
Tony Dorsett.
I would go back, even when he was in Pittsburgh, to the Dallas Cowboys. He reinvented the running back. After O.J., Gale Sell, all of those guys left the scene. Football was going to quarterbacks, receivers. I think Tony Dorsett came back. When you look at all the guys that came after Tony Dorsett, he set the bar high. That you will have that you will have Eric Dixon, that you will have Barry Sanders.
And you mentioned
that you
Billy
will
Sims,
have,
but Billy Sims is pretty good too. Back
yeah,
then.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that you will have all those guys. I think Dorsett, because the quarterback, you and I talked about this before, the quarterback and receivers was the number one positions in the NFL. If you would look at all the quarterbacks, historical quarterback, Fran Tarkenton, Bob Greasy, going back to your days. I was young,
right.
The Kid and the Snake Stabler. You don't have that type of quarterback where you don't have 28 quarterbacks that is almost compatible. You now have 5 or 6 top and the other ones, but back then the quarterback position in NFL was top. And now the running back position became back after, I would say, Tony Dorsett put back. Everybody wanted to be Tony Dorsett.
What about college?
College football, the
still
best.
him? Or
No,
somebody else?
I said somebody else in college. And I would have to go with the shortest guy that made the biggest touchdown ever. I watched that, Doug Flutie. I think Doug Flutie, for his size,
Yes, he was.
he was phenomenal.
I thought you were
for
going to
his
say
size.
Archie Griffin out of Ohio
Right.
State. For little
Two-
Archie was
two
a small
short-
guy.
absolutely.
That's it, Doug
Heisman.
Flutie, that big play, the Hail Mary.
That made the size of a quarterback. Nobody gave Doug Flutie a chance, but he made it for himself. He's almost like a Rudy story,
He is.
and that right there means a lot to an individual like myself to see somebody that made football change for Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Make football change for your short quarterbacks of the day.
Quarterbacks,
Your small
right.
quarter, because quarterbacks used to be 6'1", 6'2", big
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
And so Doug Flutie, when he threw
See,
that
Drew
last
Brees
pass,
is
Drew
not that
Brees,
big.
and
He's not
you're
huge.
right, you're
Yeah,
right.
he's not that big.
Everybody's not a Cam Newton, right?
Right. Well, he is a big one, man. He sure is big.
Yeah, but I would have to go with Doug Flutie with the Hail Mary. Nobody else had done it like Doug
I
Flutie.
think Doug Williams is big.
Yeah,
I don't
Doug
think
Williams,
was small.
Doug
I think
Williams.
Doug was big.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
How about high school best player you've ever seen?
Oh, wow, the best player I've ever seen in high school. I have to go to
I would
my...
say, I'm going to guess, tell me if I'm wrong. Burns High School, Marcus Latimer. I'm just kidding. Who's your name?
I would have to go with Chester High School, my alma mater, and go with the late Fred Minner. Fred Minner and the first time, we was playing football on the sidelines then, and when Fred went out, when Cyclones on offense, we didn't play. We stopped so we could watch number 44 from our neighborhood live down the street behind me, Fred Minner. He's got 5 touchdowns in one game, and everybody wanted to be Fred Minner. Every night, man, the little boy, even in Pop Warner, everybody wanted to be Fred Minner. So
Number 44,
number
right?
44, he was phenomenal. Oh man, and he was one of those guys in our community that we looked up to, that we respected.
Tell you, I remember 44 for the Denver Broncos, Floyd Little, name from the past. Just kind of remember those numbers and names. How about this from you? At Shane's, your favorite, would it be the ribs, the chicken, or the barbecue?
I'd have to go with the chicken because there's so many such a great variety in the chicken family.
How about after the Friday night games for Dennis White? We called him, what do we call him today? I had a good thing on the website. D. White. I like that name. I used your name for the headline today. D. White. D. White. Dennis White, D. White. I like that. It's kind of a catchy name. But anyway, after the Friday night games, what is your breakdown and wind down route? Everybody's got a wind. You get wound up for those games, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
But you got to come in off the street doing your work on
Right.
Friday, getting wound up that game. What's your wind down routine like? And how long is it taking to wind down on Friday nights?
The wind down on Friday nights is pizza every night, every Friday night. Pizza, and get home with the family and talk about the day, how everybody's day was, and just family time. That is so important.
So y'all get to spend a little family time on
that's
Friday,
the
even though it's
family
late.
time. Yeah,
You guys still
even though it's
sit
late.
around and
Yeah,
talk some,
yeah.
yeah.
We no matter.
That's a good investment.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No matter what we're doing, Friday night is set aside for us to wind down the end of the week and eat pizza and watch, of course, highlights of football, Friday football fever,
yeah.
and as well as checking the Dartmoor scores to see if all of them match up. So,
Yeah, exactly.
And and then at 11:30 football Friday night is out of my system, and I'm off that high because I start now today. I'm preparing for Friday night already.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Getting motivated, getting mentally ready.
Yes. I'll be in the mirror and the Durham and Dennis White with GreensboroSports.com. And what you think about this, what you think about that. You know, it's amazing how much fun you can have thinking about what we do. I love being with this team, you and Don, and also late Jim Motlin. I mean, this is my world on Friday football. I love it, man. Can't get away from it. And I hope I can be doing this till I'm 70 years old.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, it'd be great.
Yeah, I hope I can stick with
See,
it.